We just got some big news out of Buffalo that has some big implications about a player's future with the Bills. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar, and let's be honest, it is off-season time. There's going to be a lot of trade rumors going around, a ton of free agency signings, and a bunch of draft talk, and we got you guys all covered right here at Bills Digest for all your latest off-season news, but there's one issue. 72% of you guys who are watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, and every little bit helps. Your number one stop for Bills news in the offseason is right here at Bills Digest. So subscribe and stay in touch all offseason till next September, because the months are counting down. So guys, it is a sad day in Buffalo as a cornerstone of the Sean McDermott era, one of Sean McDermott's first signings, and someone that helped turn the culture around in Buffalo has officially retired. That man being Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde, after getting signed early December of last year, who was a practice squad player all season, ends up retiring this season. It was one last dance for him. The Bills were not able to do it, and he officially retires. Like I said, Micah Hyde was a big piece of turning around this Bills culture, turning around this Bills team, and one of Sean McDermott's first signings. And he did a phenomenal job. Again, he is not going to be a Hall of Fame talent, but he is going to be a Bills legend. One of those Bills folk guys who are just the city of Buffalo. If you're a Bills fan, if you name Micah Hyde, guys are going to think of him in high regard. There was a good 5-year stretch where this guy and Jordan Poyer were two of the best safeties in the NFL, and the Bills had not arguably in my opinion, probably the best safety duo over a 5-year stretch with these two back guys. And you guys even saw this year, you took the secondary took a step back as you have younger guys coming in, the DeMar Hamlins, the Cole Bishops, the Taylor Rapps, and hopefully the Bills can rekindle that fire that Hyde and Poyer had and recreate it with maybe a Hamlin, maybe a Cole Bishop, maybe a Taylor Rapp. Anyways, besides the point, Hyde finishes his career with 644 tackles, 18 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 24 interceptions, and 66 pass deflections. And speaking of interceptions, Bills fans will always remember Micah Hyde for this insane interception, and the one I'm talking about is this one right here against the Patriots in the perfect game in that 2021 season, the season that should have been. The Bills were up 2 scores at this point. Mac Jones throws a deep shot to Aguilar. Micah Hyde chases him down, interceptions, and the game is done at that point. The Bills go on to score 47 points, and the Bills score on every single drive for the rest of the game. Like I said, Micah Hyde was a big cornerstone piece for setting the culture here in Buffalo. Him and Jordan Poyer were, again, like I said, 2 of Sean McDermott's first free agency signings. And both of these guys turned the culture around. The Bills make the playoff in that first year with a stellar defense. And these 2 guys were at the helm of that defense. They were 2 of the best safeties in the NFL for a while, and they will both be held in high regard here in Buffalo. And again, Micah Hyde will end up in that Ring of Honor one day. I feel like a lot of guys of the Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane era will end up in there, and I think Micah Hyde will be one of those guys. He's done a lot for the community with his softball games. It looks like that he is going to try and become a coach, maybe a safeties coach. Keep an eye on that for the coming months. Again, he was signed to the practice squad, did not end up playing the season, but the Bills brought him in for a coaching trial. And what happened to Cole Bishop? Cole Bishop's level of play went up astronomically. He went from a rookie to a starter that you could rely on. Early on with Cole Bishop, he was making rookie mistakes. Think of that Houston game with that Nico Collins deep shot right over the top. Cole Bishop was out of position. And again, in these last 2 weeks with the playoff games where Cole Bishop was starting, there was no talk of, hey, Cole Bishop's out of position. Hey, Cole Bishop has looked like a rookie. He is setting the standard, and I think Micah Hyde has a very, very big part of that. And again, I would not be surprised one bit if Micah ends up being a safeties coach here in Buffalo. The Bills do like to stay local. They like to hire guys that they know. They like to bring in free agency signings that they know. Look at Micah Hyde, look at Jordan Phillips, look at Shaq Lawson over the years. They like to bring in guys that know the system, and I believe Micah Hyde knows the Sean McDermott system so well that maybe he becomes a safety coach, and maybe in years from now, maybe he ends up as a DC for Sean McDermott. When you're playing back there and you are running that system like a well-oiled machine for 10 years, opposite of Jordan Poyer, you are going to know what Sean McDermott likes, what he calls in certain instances, and will not be surprised if Bobby Babich does end up getting a head coaching job in the next few years if the defense keeps on playing at a very good level. That Micah Hyde will be in the wings waiting to get that DC job. And again, like I've said, Micah Hyde, again, one of the original pieces of turning the culture around here in Buffalo. Let's not forget, years and years ago, the Bills were a dumpster fire, the 17-year drought, going through a laundry list of quarterbacks, the J.P. Lossmans, the Trent Edwards, the Levi Browns of the world, and just a revolving door of coaches, the Dick Sharons, the Mike Mularkeys, the Doug Marones, the Rex Ryans. The list keeps on going and going. Sean McDermott comes in, brings a new culture, and his first free agency period, what does he do? He brings in guys that know his system, guys that can teach and learn, and what happens? He has 2 cornerstone safeties for the next 10 years. And obviously, life goes on. They get older. Jordan Poyer ends up going to Miami this year. Micah Hyde doesn't officially announce his retirement last year, comes back and is a mid-season practice squad guy, but more of a coaching role in a smash in case of emergency, or smash glass in case of emergency protocol. But now, like I said, coaching gig is probably in the wings for Micah Hyde. I would not be surprised one bit in the coming weeks if he becomes the safety coach for the Bills. Again, the safeties, in my opinion, the safeties played at a better level when Hyde was there. It seemed like there were reports out of Bills practice that Cole Bishop was at Micah Hyde's side the whole time, and that is something you want to hear. Hopefully Cole Bishop takes another step next year. DeMar Hamlin, Tara Rapp, hopefully these guys come in, take some more steps. We're going to get there with the secondary. The safeties and the corners I am not super concerned about in the Sean McDermott system. Once you get guys that know their role and get to the play of a average safety, Sean McDermott's system will bring them up another notch. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer were not heavy hitters. Poyer was more of a heavy hitter, but Micah Hyde was not a heavy hitter. Guy was a ball hawk. He knew how to get to the ball. Again, in a league that went from a running game to a passing game, the Bills were ahead of the curve there with the 2 high shell safeties. And again, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer were the 2 of the best safeties to work in that system. And now it looks like the Bills are slowly getting ahead of the curve now, going from a pass-heavy defense to a multifaceted defense where you can stop the run, stop the pass. You have smaller bodies, but you get these linebackers that are fast, that are physical. You get beefier guys up on the D-line, and you just take the physicality with your D-line, your athleticism of your linebacker, safety, and corners, and are able to stop where the NFL is going with what looks like a very run-heavy NFL. So again, Hyde and Poyer were good for what was NFL past, which is a pass-heavy offense. Now it looks like they went with a bigger body of Cole Bishop, a guy who likes to play around the box, and now it looks like Micah Hyde will be teaching the next set of Bills safeties and hopefully a DC at one point. Let me know your thoughts below, guys. What do you guys think of Micah Hyde? I think he will be held in high regard for years and years to come. Let me know if you guys think he will be a Ring of Honor guy. And as always, it is off-season time, so you know that means tons of news coming out, free agency signings, trade rumors, all of that. So stay subscribed here to Bills Digest because we got you guys covered all off-season. And like I always say, guys, go Bills.